my name is Rishabh Arora, and today I am going to start with the lecture where I will be telling you that why sociology is considered as one of the most pursued optional subject in UPSC civil service examination mains. So, if we look at the syllabus of the sociology, you will be able to understand that how we are well connected with respect to the general studies 1 as well as general studies 2. When you will read the syllabus, you will get to know that the syllabus of social justice, Indian society, governance, economics also converges with sociology in a very better manner as compared to the other subjects such as anthropology, mathematics, psychology. These all subjects have very less convergence with respect to the general studies. So when I say that sociology is considered more easier than the other social sciences or the other optional subjects which are given as a choice in optionals, why I am saying this? So I am going to help you with respect to this with the slide. Now, when I am saying the mains examination, what UPSC is actually looking when you are appearing in the mains examination, they are not looking for a person who has already mugged up so much of the information and going to dump on the paper. No, UPSC is looking for the people who can employ the technique of spatial intelligence. It means you can use your limited amount of knowledge which you have processed in your brain and can use it anywhere. They are not looking for the people who have the range of the information. I hope my point is very clear with respect to this range of information. Generally, this is the text which has been lifted from the UPSC website only. What is the demand of the UPSC when they want you to write the mains? The main exam is intended to assess the overall intellectual traits and depth of understanding of the candidate rather than merely the range of information and memory. It means the UPSC is not focusing upon the memory power of an individual. They are saying that the person should be able to use the limited amount of knowledge which they have learned and use the same, because when you will be on the field, you will be a government officer, you will not know everything, but you have to use the little experience or the knowledge which you have and you have to apply it similarly. So this is why we have to learn in such manner with respect to the UPSC that with the very limited knowledge you can score good as well. But all these things depends upon the conceptual understanding. If you have a conceptual understanding of any subject, then you will score good at any cost. Now let's come to the another slide, that why sociology is considered as one of the best optionals. Why? Because in sociology you will see that there are limited number of the theories and only 6 thinkers are there in paper 1. We all know every paper is divided into 2 parts, paper 1 and paper 2. What another thing which you need to learn with respect to this, that whenever we are talking about psychology, anthropology, sociology or economics, generally paper 1 is incorporated with the Western theories, Western concepts, and the second paper is related with respect to the Indian theories, Indian concepts, contribution of Indian sociological thinker, contribution of social Indian anthropologists, Indian economists, whatever the subject which we are learning as far as the UPSC is concerned. But when we say paper 1 in sociology in UPSC mains examination, there are only 6 thinkers which you have to learn. What are the name of the thinkers are? The first is the Karl Marx, then Emile Durkheim, then we have Max Weber, then we have Talcott Parson, then we have R.K. Merton, and then we have George Herbert Mead. These 6 thinkers, generally it is said that if you read and if you understand these 6 thinkers in a very good manner, then your 50% of the paper is considered complete. Only these 6 thinkers will give you at least 100 marks in paper 1, and rest of the theories are very limited in number. ऐसा नहीं है that you have to mug up thousands of pages to score around 150 marks or whatever, but I will still say that limited number of the thinkers and the limited number of concepts gives you an advantage over the other students. Why I am saying this? Because when it comes to psychology, when it comes to anthropology, economics, the number of the thinker as compared to the sociology is much more. Then optional subject, when we say in sociology, since the paper is more theoretical as well as applied questions are also asked, we have seen repetition of the question in the mains examination. If you will see the thinkers, if you will see the concept, generally the questions are summed up from the previous years itself. The applied questions are also asked, but the number of the applied questions are quite less when it comes to paper one. Then every individual has a sociological dimension. On every day when we go out of, when we move out of the house, when we come into the market, every particular interaction of an individual with the other individual of the society has a sociological dimension. Since we have been brought up in a society, we live in a society, we interact with the society, the chances of scoring in sociology is quite more, because you will understand the subject from the core. And as in, because if I talk about religion, if I talk about caste, if I talk about family, if I talk about marriage, if I talk about any other institution of the society, you will be in a very easy manner able to relate with respect to these institutions, because these institutions you have seen in your life, you have experienced. Some of you must have experienced these institutions as well. When I'm saying institutions such as marriage, how marriage affects the life of an individual, how marriage affects this society at a larger level, how caste as an institution of the society is affecting the life of an individual. Is caste, we can say, disintegrating in our country? Caste is strengthening the solidarity of a particular group. How nuclear family has been considered as an exception in many certain communities or groups. How industrialization has changed the structure of the family in the recent years. How globalization has affected the behavior and the attitude of the middle class. This is what we are going to learn in the sociology. If there is a person who has recently committed suicide, why he has committed suicide, Durkheim gives a very insightful document with respect to this. So when it comes to social affair, the increasing age of the woman, marital rape, adultery, gender discrimination, racism, everything we are going to learn with respect to this. And these are issues which are much contemporary in nature as well. So you will learn a lot. If you are going to pursue sociology as an optional, it is not only going to make you a learned person, but you also will turn out to be a better administrator in the society. Now, application of the theory and concept with reference to current social affairs are asked in the paper. The questions which are asked with respect to the application are quite less when it is compared to the theoretical question. Now, if we have to clear this examination, we have to prepare exactly according to the syllabus. Many times we have seen that the students are deviating from the components of the syllabus. If I am saying the components of the syllabus, I simply mean the syllabus which has been given by the UPSC. So if you will see, the uh, topic 1 of the syllabus is talking about sociology, the discipline. Now you will see modernity and social changes which has happened in the Europe and the emergence of sociology. From this single subtopic, UPSC has asked at least 18 questions in the last 20 years, and the theme and the context of the question always remains the same. What you need to understand with respect to this, that the UPSC is simply asking the question which is mentioned in the syllabus. You also need to understand, whenever you are reading the subtopic, you have to read in a wholesome manner rather than learning in an incomplete manner, because if incomplete knowledge is very dangerous, right? You might understand in a very different dimension and then you write it wrong, the examiner is going to get angry, and the, he is likely to give you less marks. Scope of the subject and the comparison with the other social sciences. And if you will see, I'm not sure that you will be able to see the question paper because of the background, but as far as I know, if you compare the subtopics of the question, subtopics of the syllabus, then you will realize that the questions which have been asked are simply the same. What aspects of the enlightenment do you think paved way for the emergence of sociology? Enlightenment is nothing but a, a revolution, or which happened in the European age, in the aftermath of the medieval age. It started near 13th 14th century and ended around 18th century. How enlightenment has paved the path for the emergence of sociology. How Rousseau thought about with respect to the modernity and the rationality in the society. Jean-Jacques Rousseau we are talking about. Then there were many sociological thinkers at that time who were not in favor of the modernity and the rationality. So there have been socio-economic conditions which has created the path for the sociology. But what you need to understand, that we do not have to deviate from the syllabus here. If you will see the components of the syllabus or the subtopics under the headings, you will realize that the UPSC is simply asking what is mentioned in the syllabus, and if you cover the same in a wholesome and an effective manner, then you will realize that yes, this subject is not only easy to understand but scoring as well. So in many students, we have seen that the students have scored around 300 marks, which is considered very good in optionals, and it will also help you achieve a better position in the services as well, because sometimes due to the poor number in the optional, you do not get the better service such as IAS or IPS or IFS, right? So let's talk about other things here. Now, since optionals, we have to complete the same in a very limited time, because the time period for the overall UPSC examination is limited, and the number of the topics in different subjects which you have to learn is infinite. Everything which is under the sun could be asked in the prelims examination. So that is why there is no syllabus of the prelims examination in general with respect to the current affairs. Then you have to also prepare for the mains examination. So you have to decide that, since if you are preparing for the 2023 examination or 2024 examination, this is considered as the best time to pursue your optional subject. Generally, optional for sociology is completed in 3 to 3.5 months, and we are currently in the 10th month of this year. So if you start, suppose from October end or from the November, you will be done with your sociology by February. And if you have read some part of the prelims as of now, suppose you have completed the syllabus, then you can devote your whole time from February, and you can simply pursue prelims preparation for February, March, April, and on 28th May you have your prelims examination. Still you will be left with 4 months of prelims preparation, in which you can go for prelims test series as well. So, and students who are will be appearing in 2024, they should also pursue their optional this time only, because when you are done with your optionals, you are already done with the 500 marks in the examination. It means you only have to go with the other subjects such as GS 1, 2, 3, 4 and your essay examination. So I hope my point with respect to sociology is clear, that how you have to follow this. Now it becomes very important to manage your time wisely. So how much time you should dedicate when you are reading any optional? Generally, it is said that you should dedicate at least 3 hours, or maximum three, maximum you can dedicate at least 5 to 6 hours if you are only reading sociology in that day, or only reading optional on that day. But generally 2 to 3 hours is considered good when you are reading optional. Then exam oriented approach means we have to follow the approach which is taken as a cue from the UPSC. How UPSC has changed the pattern of the question in the last 25 years with respect to sociology as an optional. Then theme based approach. We will have to understand the whole theme of the topic. When we are talking about enlightenment, when we are talking about the scientific revolution, commercial revolution, what is the theme behind this, right? What is, so we have to understand that why a particular thinker had said something. What if Karl Marx is talking about alienation, then who are the other thinkers who are also correlating with respect to the same concept? If Karl Marx has talked about historical materialism, then from whom he has derived this idea? Hegel, dialectical materialism or idealistic materialism. This is what you need to understand when we are talking or when we are reading sociology for the UPSC. Then mental framework. You have to keep your mind in a very hygienic manner. It means you don't have to allow other thoughts to enter into your mind. There is a principle of hygiene where you do not, your mind becomes an object of steel, where nobody can easily penetrate into your thoughts. You will decide who is going to, who is going to spend time in your brain, because nobody is allowed to live in your brain for rent free. Now, read relevantly means that you don't need to run for the syllabus, you don't have to run for the books, because when we are teaching optional here, when we are teaching sociology here, we will make sure that the every notes which are given to you are relevant for your examination, and also does not become a irrelevant compilation or redundant compilation, because we only give you notes which are very refined in nature and also been thorough by at least 2 to 3 teachers who are teaching sociology here. So what you need to understand with respect to this, that when generally student read or pursue sociology as an optional, what they do, they generally run after books, generally run after material, and when they collect all the material, they do not understand, because they are learning from the multiple sources. So you have to avoid the multiple sources. You have to follow a single institution or single mentor who is guiding you with respect to sociology, that how you can score better marks in the examination, right? So we also believe in the dictation of the notes is generally more productive in nature, because when the students are writing note, they will also get to understand that what part of the notes I am not able to understand. So if I am dictating notes in the class, then the students will also ask me that why you have made us written this, can you please explain this line? Then I will explain the concept with respect to this, I will explain the context as well. Generally, when the handouts are being given, handouts will be given in this institute as well, but when generally handouts are given, many information or so much information is included in the handout which is not relevant for the examination, or only has been given to you so that the institution duty towards the student with respect to the content is fulfilled. We do not believe in this concept where we are only providing you the heaps of the paper which are nothing but become a dump yard in your room or where you are residing. So we believe that the dictation and believe supplementary notes are efficient and sufficient for your examination productivity. Now, since we have already talked about, there are only 10 topics in your paper 1. That is why I am saying sociology is one of those optional where the syllabus is very less when it is compared to other optional examination. Only 10 topics are there. Then you will see that the number of the questions are also the number of the question with respect to the theory and the applied is balanced, but the theoretical question carries more weightage. It means questions are repeated. Then you will also realize that many components of the syllabus are matching, such as nation, state, citizenship, democracy, civil society, social movement, protest, right? Equality, inequality. Then you will also labor and society, formal and informal organization of work. This is paper general studies 3 part. Then if I talk about the other part of the syllabus, then you will realize that a development and dependency, agent of social change, how law has become an agent of social change, how education has become a agent of social change, how education helps you attain the vertical mobility. Vertical mobility means you are moving in the society ladder in a vertical manner. Suppose your father was a peon, but he believed in the power of the education. Now he says that you will go to school, you will go to college, and if you score good marks, you will also get a good job. So now since your father was a peon, but he believed in the power of the education, he said that my son or my daughter is going to learn the best studies of the country, and then later on when you get your admission in IIT or IIM, then you will also see that you will also get a very good job offer where you will be earning in lakhs or crores in some years, and hence you will attain the vertical mobility in the society. This is what you need to understand, that this is how we teach in the class as well. Then patriarchy and sexual division of labor. Patriarchy is the component of your GS paper 1. Then religion and science, how religion and science are related to each other. Secularization, fundamentalism, revivalism, all these are the components of your Indian society and social justice. Then if I talk about the other things here, this is where your paper is going to converge. Now you will see modern Indian history, social reforms is the part of the syllabus, where you will be talking about Arya Samaj movement, Deoband movement, the Ahmadiyya movement. Then Indian society, we have topics such as diversity, communalism, secularism. Women women plays a very important part in our society's development as well as country's progress. So in generally you will get so much content that you can write an essay as well on the topic such as women. Then population and dynamics, population policy, UPSC has generally asked the question with respect to this topic in paper 1. Then essay linkage, we have many topics such as women, education, health, societal change, culture, values. So this is what we have seen so far. In the next lesson, we are also going to learn about that how UPSC asks question in paper 2 and how they are going to help us in writing the mains examination. So as far as the other topics are concerned, we are also going to start with the some topics of sociology which will help you understand the thinkers in a better manner. Thank you.